Friendship War, Chapter 20. Bad Gone Bad. So, I heard you'll trade 8 of these for one bracelet. Is that true? It's Audrey Harkin. She's in Mrs. Casey's homeroom and she's looking through my bag of fancy buttons. That's right, and you can pick whichever ones you want. Nice. Here you go. She slaps the bracelet down on the lunch table and begins choosing. I've still got at least 100 of the specialty buttons here at school, which is good because they're very popular. But I've also got 6 other bags of very nice vintage buttons in reserve, the same ones that I had planned to dump onto a tray last week at Ellie's lunchtime button show. As Audrey leaves, I say, be sure to tell the kids in your homeroom that I'm looking for bracelets and necklaces, and I've got lots of really great buttons here. My new business is bouncing along nicely on this fine Tuesday morning, and everybody loves my sign, Grace's Gorgeous Goodies. So far, I've traded for 9 bracelets and 3 necklaces and 1 anklet, all made by Ellie. And I still got 15 minutes before lunch is over. If all goes well, by the end of the day, most of Ellie's originals are going to belong to one person, me. Hank's been watching since lunch period began, and I can feel his eyes, feel his questions. I feel some disapproval, too. And it's not because I'm getting rid of so many great old buttons. I already let him pick through my stuff and choose the ones he wanted, for free, for his collection. So that's not what he disapproves of. No, Hank can tell something else is going on here. I haven't shown him the broken pinwheel button, but he can see that what I'm doing has an edge to it. Something a little sharp, a little harsh, a little grim. And he's right. Because this isn't about fun with buttons. This is war. Grace's Gorgeous Goodies and Ellie's Originals are locked in a desperate battle to the death. Okay, that's a little too dramatic. But no matter what this is called, so far, I'm winning. And it feels wonderful. I've seen Ellie look this way a few times from over there at her special lunch table, trying to figure out what I'm doing, but she's too stuck up to walk over and take a look. And she's probably not smart enough to send a spy, which is what I would do. Besides, it doesn't matter if she knows what I'm doing. She can't stop me. Because when it comes to buttons, I'm probably the richest kid in the world. And here comes another customer, Brooke. I like your sign. So what kind of goodies do you have? Oh, you've seen a lot of these already. She picks up the same bag of fancy buttons that she looked through last Friday when I got her to trade me for that pinwheel. I love this seahorse. And another one, a perfect pair. I can't believe I didn't see these. Want to trade something for them? Actually, I love that bracelet you've got. So how about taking both seahorses plus any other 6 buttons you want for the bracelet? I don't know. This is a great bracelet. It really is. You should probably hang on to it. Yeah. And honestly, I don't want Brooke to get involved again. But she's still poking around in that buttons bag. Ooh, check this one. Looks like a bluebird. Do you know why this one's transparent but the seahorses aren't? Hank could tell you. Hank looks up from his cup of fruit salad, and Brooke takes the button to him at the far end of the table. The bird is celluloid. That's why the color is so bright. But the plastic still lets the light through. And this button is vintage, probably at least 70 years old. The seahorses were carved out of bakelite, which is much denser. They're vintage too. It's a thorough answer, but he's not happy that I pulled him into my business because Brooke's cute blue ribbon bracelet with the small white buttons, it's almost mine, and Hank knows it, and he wants no part of what I'm doing. Brooke is back standing beside me, and I make her an offer. How about this? You can take the 2 seahorses, the bluebird, plus 7 other buttons, 10 great buttons for that bracelet, because it's such a good one. I think that's fair. Okay, it's a deal. And just like that, I got another one of Ellie's Originals. As Brooke walks away, Hank is getting ready to dump his lunch tray. But instead of standing up, he slides down toward my end of the table. I've never seen you wearing bracelets or jewelry, and it's not like Ellie's been using anything rare or fancy to make her stuff. So how come you're collecting it? Simple. Because when Ellie figures out that I've got all these, she's going to hate it. And there's not one thing she could do about it. I'm going to teach her a lesson. So this is payback for getting dumped from her lunch table? That's part of it. What's the rest? It's complicated. It would take all day to explain. Hank gives me a look. I figured out how gravitational orbits work. Do you think it would be more complicated than that? Actually, yes. Figuring out what's going on between me and Ellie isn't the same as working out math problems. If it were the same, all the wars in the world would be ended in a week. So when does this war end? I shrug. When I won, and when Ellie, hands off! I turn to look just as Kevin shoves Cody. They're 2 tables away, and they each have a lunch tray covered with buttons. That one's mine, and you know it. Cody jumps to his feet and shoves Kevin back, then makes a grab for something on Kevin's tray, but he misses. Both trays fly off the far side of the table, and hundreds of buttons go bouncing across the tile floor. Kevin! Cody! Stop it! Mrs. Casey and the custodian are headed their way, but Kevin stands up and gets both arms around Cody, and they wrestle each other to the floor. As Mrs. Casey and Mr. Roberts pull them apart, kids are yelling and squabbling and chasing the spilled buttons all over the cafeteria. It's like a riot, and it started in 3 seconds. Hank looks at the chaos around us, and then at me. When I did a report on the Klondike Gold Rush last year, I read about how the prospectors and miners began fighting with each other. Looks like the Great Button Rush might be turning ugly, and your little war wasn't so nice either. Then he takes his tray and leaves. I hate being scolded, especially when I deserve it, because Hank's right. I'm out for revenge here, and it's not pretty. I'm glad I didn't get to finish telling him the rest of my plan because Ellie's going to get every one of her originals back, ripped up into tiny, ragged pieces. Hank would have been shocked to hear me say that, maybe even disgusted. Except I don't care. I'm being illogical and I'm being unscientific, and I know that, and I understand that, and I accept that. Why? Because Ellie Emerson totally needs something she's never had, not once in her whole mean, spoiled, selfish life. She needs a crushing defeat. And that's what she's going to get from me. A question starts to bubble up in my mind. I try to push it away, but the words arrive anyway, and I can't ignore them. If I'm doing such a great job winning my war with Ellie, then how come I feel so awful?